In WWE, moments like this, Andrade's sunset flip on Baylor or Dean Ambrose's insane landing defy the scripted nature of sports entertainment. These moments also include bone-crushing piledriver that left Stone Cold injured and top-of-the-ladder spear that destroyed Jeff Hardy. There's also this Batista bomb to RKO on Daniel Bryan, and the very moment Shawn Michaels lost his mind. These are the moments that remind us why we love this sport and why we tune in week after week to witness the raw power and intense drama that only WWE can deliver. So in this video, we will relive 20 of the most vicious and unforgettable moments in WWE history. Edge spears Jeff Hardy. The tag team trio of Edge and Christian, the Hardy Boys, and the Dudley Boys make history at WrestleMania 17 in Houston, Texas. These guys had already rocked the ring the year before in a triangle ladder match at WrestleMania 16 and then again at SummerSlam. But on April 1st, 2001, they took it to a whole new level. The match was a roller coaster of thrills, spills, and jaw-dropping moments. But it was the final spot that the fans will never forget. Jeff Hardy, hanging on to the tag team titles for dear life, found himself on the wrong end of a gravity-defying spear from Edge, who launched off a 20-foot ladder. Jim Ross, on commentary duty, lost his mind, and who could blame him? In the end, Edge and Christian snatched victory once again, unhooking the belts for the win. But it was Jeff Hardy who stole the show. His daredevil stunts made him the MVP of the match. Money in the Bank spots fests. The Money in the Bank PPV is like a treasure trove of wrestling madness, especially when ladders are involved. This event has seen some of the craziest ladder matches in wrestling history, spanning over 13 years and featuring 23 Money in the Bank bouts. We're talking about moments that make you gasp, cheer, and maybe even cover your eyes. Let's rewind to 2010, the inaugural Money in the Bank PPV. Kofi Kingston decides to drop a boom drop from a ladder onto poor Drew McIntyre. Kevin Owens is no stranger to taking a beating, and in 2021, he took a powerbomb through a ladder. But let's not forget AJ Styles, who in 2017 displayed some serious grip strength by holding onto the briefcase even after the ladder was moved, resulting in a heart-stopping fall. Sheamus decided to take things to the extreme in 2011 by powerbombing Sin Cara through a ladder on the outside. It was brutal, memorable, and made us all wince in sympathy. Ricochet wowed the crowd in 2021 with an acrobatic springboard from a ladder onto competitors outside the ring. But the most jaw-dropping moment came in 2019 when Andrade executed a sunset flip on Finn Balor from the top of a ladder onto another ladder. Bret Hart spits in Vince McMahon's face after the Screwjob. Few events in WWE history have captured attention and controversy, such as the Montreal Screwjob. The seeds of the Screwjob were sown in the months leading up to the 1997 Survivor Series. Hart, who had refused to sign a long-term contract with the WWF, was set to depart for rival promotion, WCW. Fearing a repeat of past incidents where departing wrestlers disgraced the company, McMahon sought to ensure a smooth transition. However, Hart was adamant about not losing the title in his home country of Canada, where he enjoyed immense popularity. During the match, Michaels managed to lock in the sharpshooter on Hart, but then chaos ensued. Referees and officials seemed confused, unsure of how to proceed. Despite the original plan for the match to end differently, referee Earl Hebner made a snap decision, declaring Michaels the new WWF champion. The decision blindsided Hart, who reacted with anger, spitting in Vince McMahon's face. Michaels wasted no time, leaving the arena with other WWF officials, while Hart vented his frustration by destroying equipment at ringside. But amidst the chaos, Hart found a moment of clarity. He calmed down, showing respect to the fans by signing WCW and I Love You before leaving the arena. Even outside the squared circle, the Montreal Screwjob's impact was felt. The term itself became a metaphor for the most vicious betrayal and controversy. When it comes to booking decisions, this is one of the worst. However, the next entry on this list is exactly the opposite. Kurt Angle broke Randy Orton's ankle. In 2006, on SmackDown, Kurt Angle shocked the WWE Universe by seemingly breaking Randy Orton's ankle with his deadly angle lock submission. The move was so brutal that it kept Orton out of action for months, and Angle looked like the ultimate ring assassin. But hold your horses, because the real story takes a twist. The truth? Orton's ankle wasn't really broken. It's all kayfabe. Kurt Angle wouldn't intentionally hurt Orton even if they weren't friends. So while the angle made Kurt Angle look like a ring monster, it was all smoke and mirrors. Randy Orton was in a bit of a pickle at the time. He'd failed his second drug test, landing him in hot water with the WWE. The first time around, he got a 30-day vacation from the ring, but this time his second strike earned him a 60-day suspension, and not the kind where you get to relax on a beach with a cocktail in hand. This one was without pay. Angle would later spill the beans about the infamous ankle-breaking incident with Orton. It turns out that it was all part of the magic to give Angle a monster-sized push. If you find this fascinating, you will probably find the next entry absurd. Eddie Guerrero's fake heart attack angle. The shocking passing of Eddie Guerrero left us all reeling. But looking back, one WWE angle stands out as a misstep: the fake heart attack angle in 2004. Now, I'm no doctor, but using Eddie's real-life heart issues as part of a storyline, that's like trying to pin down a greased-up opponent. Slippery and not a good idea. Eddie Guerrero was deep in a storyline tangle with JBL, the Dudley Boys, Rey Mysterio, and Rob Van Dam. Things were heating up, and on May 20th, 2004, SmackDown viewers were in for a wild ride. It was a six-man tag team match. Guerrero teaming up with Mysterio and Van Dam, facing off against the Dudley Boys and JBL. As the match reached its climax, Guerrero unleashed his signature move, the Three Amigos taking down Devon Dudley. The crowd erupted, but in a shocking twist, Guerrero suffered a heart attack right there in the ring. But in the chaos, JBL saw an opportunity. Seizing the moment, he tagged in and pinned Guerrero for the win. Eddie had already faced real troubles in the past, including underlying health issues. Using that as fodder for entertainment, well, let's just say it shouldn't sit well with fans or anyone with a shred of common sense. In the old territory days, this same angle spelled doom for WCCW. Fritz von Erich's fake heart attack. After a string of tragedies, including the untimely deaths of wrestlers like Gino Hernandez, the brains behind WCCW thought faking a heart attack would be a stroke of genius. Oh boy, were they wrong. Fritz von Erich, the patriarch of the Von Erich wrestling dynasty, would fake a heart attack as part of an angle. Now, the Von Erich family is no stranger to tragedy, having endured much heartache. Despite Fritz living to a ripe old age, 5 of his 6 sons passed away before him, 3 by suicide. During the World Class Championship wrestling era, the Von Erich's tribulations led to many tribute shows, with one particularly memorable event honoring David Von Erich. The tribute show saw Kerry Von Erich clinch victory over Ric Flair to claim the NWA title. These tribute shows were a hit, drawing crowds like a champ draws fans. So, someone thought, why not have Fritz fake a heart attack? Well, it turns out that wasn't the slam dunk they hoped for. Instead of packing the arena like sardines in a can, fans packed their bags and left in droves. One would think WWE would learn from cases like this, but no. They had to take this angle with Eddie. Brock Lesnar breaks Shawn Michaels' arm. If there's one man who can give you a first-class ticket to Suplex City and a complimentary bone-breaking session, it's none other than Brock Lesnar. The Beast doesn't just step into the ring, he bulldozes his way in, leaving a trail of broken bodies in his wake. Since his debut in 2002, Brock has faced off against some of the biggest names in WWE history. We're talking Triple H, The Undertaker, The Rock, you name it. He's tossed them around like rag dolls. Stepping into the ring with Brock is like playing a game of human pinball, and some wrestlers have found themselves on the wrong end of his brutal assaults. One unfortunate victim was Shawn Michaels. Before their showdown at SummerSlam 2012, Shawn made the mistake of crossing paths with the Beast. It all started innocently enough, with Shawn expressing his support for his buddy Triple H from ringside rather than facing Brock himself. Smart move, right? Wrong. As Shawn tried to leave the building, his path was blocked by Paul Heyman. Words were exchanged, tempers flared, and before Shawn knew it, he was being dragged back into the ring by the Beast himself. With Shawn at his mercy, Brock slapped on his signature Kimura lock. Even when Triple H rushed to the rescue, Brock didn't back down. In a shocking display of brutality, the Beast broke Shawn's arm right in front of the game, leaving him extremely angry and Shawn writhing in agony. Stone Cold's neck injury. 1997 was a year of triumph and turmoil for Stone Cold Steve Austin. During a match with Owen Hart, things went sideways. Hart attempted a pile driver, a move meant to be flashy, not flesh-crushing. But alas, it went wrong, leaving Austin with a neck injury that would have made a chiropractor wince. Instead of gracefully landing on his back, Austin's noggin met the mat like a meteor, breaking his neck in the process. 1 minute, they're grappling. The next, Stone Cold is wondering if his limbs got the memo to move. Despite the pain and temporary numbness in his arms and legs, Austin didn't tap out. No, he finished the match like a champ, even snagging the WWF Intercontinental Championship. Now that's what I call commitment, or maybe just a really high pain tolerance. The injury forced him to undergo surgery, where screws and a metal plate were inserted to stabilize his damaged vertebrae. This unexpected setback sent Austin on a hiatus from in-ring action. While Stone Cold will forever have a place in wrestling history, WWE probably wishes they could erase the next entry from their history: the vicious but unfortunate Brawl for All. Back in '98, WWE decided it was a grand idea to pit their own wrestlers against each other in a no-holds-barred brawl. The catch? It was all voluntary, which sounds like a recipe for disaster in hindsight. The Brawl for All wasn't just a mess of confusing rules and questionable decisions. It had lasting implications for those who participated. Injuries were common, careers were derailed, and fans were left wondering why they paid to watch wrestlers throw haymakers instead of performing scripted matches. Dr. Death Steve Williams, a fan favorite, tore his hamstring during the tournament, shattering his wrestling dreams. He was set to be a WWE superstar, but the Brawl for All left him broken and unable to continue at the same level. Dr. Death Steve Williams had it all. He was a megastar in Japan, primed for a WWE takeover, but one match, one injury, and it all vanished. And let's not forget the Godfather, who also fell victim to injury. These men, not trained fighters, paid a heavy price for a forgettable event. We've talked about in-ring actions. Let's talk about the most vicious promo in WWE history, when Cena destroys Roman. It all went down during a contract signing for their epic showdown at No Mercy. Cena unleashed a verbal beatdown on Reigns, leaving him feeling like a rookie in a lion's den. Reigns, still finding his footing on the mic, stumbled through his lines while Cena delivered knockout punch after knockout punch. Cena didn't hold back, throwing shade at Reigns' struggle to connect with the fans and even poking fun at his promo skills, or lack thereof. But the piece de resistance? Cena seized the moment, delivering the ultimate blow. If Reigns wanted to be the big dog, he better learn how to cut a promo. Ouch. You can practically feel the embarrassment radiating from Reigns as Cena takes him to Verbal Suplex City. CM Punk's pipe bomb promo. CM Punk recently made his triumphant return to WWE after nearly a decade away from the promotion's squared circle. His return to WWE is like a homecoming for a hero who never lost his edge. One of the defining moments of Punk's career was his infamous pipe bomb promo on Raw. This wasn't just trash talk, it was a manifesto. He came for Vince, saying he surrounds himself with glad-handing, nonsensical douchebag yes-men like John Laurinaitis, who's going to tell him everything he wants to hear. And I'd like to think that maybe this company will be better after Vince McMahon is dead. But the fact is, it's going to get taken over by his idiotic daughter and his doofus son-in-law and the rest of his family. At least, we can all agree that he was right about that one. The product is so much better under Hunter. In 2021, CM Punk made a guest appearance on the Dropping Character podcast, where he shared the behind-the-scenes story of his infamous pipe bomb promo. Vince McMahon approached him and instructed him to air his grievances that night. Punk went along with the process, allowing the writers to draft his promo and submit it to McMahon for approval. McMahon made a few changes, including instructing Punk, not to mention certain individuals like Kevin Dunn, who was in charge of the production truck. However, when Punk went out to deliver his promo, he disregarded McMahon's instructions and said whatever he wanted. He took the opportunity to express his frustrations and criticisms of the company, elevating the promo to a whole new level. Before leaving the company, Punk indirectly set WWE up for some of the greatest stories ever told. Let's find out. The betrayal of Seth Rollins that defines the entire decade. You are probably wondering what this is doing here, but give it a minute and it will make perfect sense. In fact, this is arguably the most vicious entry on this list. In the latest WrestleMania main event, chaos reigned supreme. Let's look at what happened after all interference had run its course. Reigns, armed and dangerous, faced off against Cody, with Rollins lurking nearby. The tension was evident, but Reigns surprised everyone by choosing not to attack Cody. It was a crucial moment, showcasing Reigns' character growth, a narrative WWE had been building for years. In June 2014, Rollins turned on his Shield brothers and attacked Reigns and Ambrose with a steel chair. This moment right here is the most vicious moment of the last decade, and not just from a storytelling angle. Vince McMahon might be the greatest villain wrestling has ever seen for this single move. This decision was especially harsh on Reigns, who was being groomed as the face of the company. Unlike Rollins and Ambrose, Reigns was relatively new to the spotlight, and the breakup hit him the hardest. While Rollins and Ambrose flourished in their solo careers, Reigns struggled to win over the fans. Despite his talent, the audience seemed hesitant to accept him as a top star. This rejection from the fans, both in the ring and out, weighed heavily on Reigns. He bottled everything and became the ultimate bad guy in the end. Stone Cold stuns Donald Trump. In WrestleMania 23, Vince McMahon and Donald Trump clashed in a battle of billionaires. Trump chose Bobby Lashley, while McMahon picked Umaga to represent them in a no-holds-barred showdown. Lashley emerged victorious, pinning Umaga and securing the win for Team Trump. But the real shocker came after the match. Celebrating with Lashley and Stone Cold Steve Austin, Trump found himself on the receiving end of a Stone Cold stunner. Talk about adding insult to injury. Not one to shy away from the spotlight, Trump took it in stride, even though he wasn't the president of the United United States at the time. Fast forward to 2016, and Trump swaps the squared circle for the Oval Office, becoming the President of the United States. While his wrestling days might be behind him, he remains a WWE Hall of Famer, forever immortalized in the ring. Stone Cold, however, hasn't hung up his boots just yet. He's still making sporadic appearances, keeping the WWE Universe on their toes. Most recently, he squared off against Kevin Owens at WrestleMania 38, proving that the Texas Rattlesnake still has plenty of bite left in him. Brock Lesnar breaks Triple H's arm. In a showdown fit for the WWE history books, Brock Lesnar unleashed a brutal assault on Triple H during Raw's Super Show in 2012. The chaos erupted when Triple H, who was WWE's COO, challenged the authority of Raw and SmackDown general manager John Laurinaitis, declaring that Laurinaitis had no right to grant Lesnar's demands prior to Extreme Rules. Defiant and unrelenting, Lesnar seized the opportunity to strike, launching a surprise attack on Triple H. The assault was so severe that Triple H's arm was broken, leaving him in excruciating pain. As Triple H writhed in agony, the extent of his injuries became clear, with severe ligament and tendon damage around the elbow. Triple H had to be assisted from the ring by fellow WWE superstars Big Show, Sheamus, R-Truth, and Kofi Kingston. The aftermath of the attack saw Lesnar escorted out of the Nutter Center. If you think this is sickening, wait till you see the next entry on this list. Brock Lesnar and Big Show broke the ring. There are giants, and then there's Brock Lesnar. But wait, there's also Big Show, a man who stands tall among the giants. Back in the summer of 2003, Lesnar was riding high as a fan favorite on SmackDown. His physical prowess and appeal made him a favorite among fans, especially as the brand's top babyface. So when a feud with Big Show was brewing, fans were on the edge of their seats, eagerly anticipating what was to come. At this time, Big Show also had a lot of credibility and momentum as a main event star. Then came June 12, 2003, the night that would go down in WWE history. Lesnar and Big Show faced off for the WWE Championship in the main event of SmackDown. The tension was evident as the two giants squared off, each vying for dominance. But the moment that stole the show came when Lesnar hoisted Big Show into a suplex position, both men towering above the ring. The crowd erupted as Lesnar executed a superplex, sending Big Show crashing down to the canvas. The impact was so intense that the ring imploded, leaving both men unable to continue. As SmackDown went off the air, the fans were pumped and in awe of the spectacle they had just witnessed. Unlike this spectacle that the fans will forever be fond of, the next entry on this list broke them. You're supposed to be my friend. At Bragging Rights 2009, the stage was set for a showdown of epic proportions. Rey Mysterio, Batista, Undertaker, and CM Punk were all hungry for the heavyweight belt and willing to go to any lengths to claim it. This fatal four-way match was every man for himself, no holds barred, but the personal drama brewing between Rey Mysterio and Batista made this match truly intense. They were more than friends, they were like brothers. However, Batista had his sights set on the championship and made it clear that he would do whatever it took to win. As the match unfolded, Rey and Batista's friendship was put to the ultimate test. When Rey intervened to stop Batista from pinning Punk, he unknowingly ignited a fire within Batista. After the match, Rey stood in the ring thinking everything was copacetic, but Batista had other plans. Batista unleashed his fury, declaring war on his former friend. Rey found himself in a fresh wrestling match, with Batista playing the role of the ruthless heel. Kevin Owens lays into Vince. 2017 was the year of Kevin Owens versus the McMahons. It was a feud so intense it made Monday Night Raw look like a tea party. It all started innocently enough, with Owens squaring off against Vince McMahon himself, but things took a turn for the physical when Shane McMahon decided to join the party. Suddenly, SmackDown was the place to be, with KO and Shane O'Mac going toe-to-toe in a battle that had fans on the edge of their seats. During one memorable SmackDown showdown, Vince and Kevin sat down to discuss a previous week's Brawl and the lawsuit that Owens was threatening. Mr. McMahon didn't hold back, making it clear he'd fire Owens and bankrupt him if the lawsuit went ahead. As tensions escalated, Vince dropped a bombshell, saying he wished Shane had done more damage to Kevin. He even admitted to not suspending Shane for attacking Owens, but for not finishing the job. The climax comes when Mr. McMahon sets up a Hell in a Cell match between Shane and Kevin. Now filled with rage, Owens agreed to the match under one condition: he could lay into McMahon without fear of repercussions. Surprisingly, Mr. McMahon agreed. In a shocking turn of events, Owens unleashed his fury on Mr. McMahon, headbutting him, busting the chairman open, and delivering a brutal beatdown. Stephanie McMahon rushed to her father's aid, but the damage was done. Brock destroys Mark Henry. On a fateful December night, Brock Lesnar crashed back into Monday Night Raw like a freight train, declaring himself the top dog gunning for the World Heavyweight Championship. With his sights set on the winner of John Cena versus Randy Orton at Royal Rumble 2014, he has targets. At some point, Mark Henry, the world's strongest man, looked to flex his muscles against the Beast. But when push came to shove, it was Henry who got the short end of the stick, finding himself speared through the barricade by Lesnar in a move that left everyone gasping. Not one to back down, Henry returned to Raw seeking payback. What he got, though, was a brutal lesson in humility as Lesnar locked him in a Kimura hold, leaving Henry with a dislocated elbow and a painful reminder of the price of vengeance. Cody Rhodes is another victim of Brock Lesnar. Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar have been duking it out since the dawn of the Raw after WrestleMania 39. Sparks flew, punches were thrown, and at Backlash 2023, the American Nightmare emerged victorious. But oh, the drama didn't end there. On another fateful Monday Night Raw of May 22, 2023, Brock Lesnar wasn't content to let bygones be bygones. He unleashed his inner beast and pounced on poor Cody Rhodes like a lion on a gazelle. Brutality was the name of the game, and Lesnar played it like a maestro. But wait, there's more. In a move that had everyone's eyebrows shooting up like rockets, the American Nightmare, with his arm still smarting from Lesnar's onslaught, decided to step into the ring once again for Night of Champions. Talk about guts and glory. However, before Rhodes could even utter a word, he found himself trapped in Lesnar's infamous Kimura lock. It was like watching a bear trap snap shut on a poor, unsuspecting rabbit. The result? Rhodes with a broken arm, Lesnar with a smirk of triumph, and the fans with jaws dropped to the floor. Seth Rollins destroys Roman Reigns. There are not many rivalries as intense as that between Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. In a bid to claim the Universal Championship in 2022, Rollins pulled out all the stops to rattle Reigns, especially during their showdown on SmackDown before the pay-per-view event. The tension between the two reached its peak on the Blue Brand's final show before the Royal Rumble, where Rollins and Reigns engaged in a verbal sparring match that had fans on the edge of their seats. Rollins dug deep into the past, reminding Reigns and the audience of a particularly sensitive moment from 2016. Back then, Rollins had returned from injury and swiftly ended Reigns' title reign. However, Reigns' triumph was short-lived as news broke of his suspension for violating WWE's wellness policy. Seth said, "When I came back from a devastating knee injury, and in my first match back brought shame to your bloodline, by pinning your shoulders right here to this mat and sent you packing for your 30-day vacay." Rollins didn't hold back, using this incident to highlight what he saw as Reigns' flaws and mistakes, including how he felt Reigns had disrespected his family. He said, "You say I'm a clown. Well, guess what, pal? You're the joke. Your entire reign is a joke. Your bloodlines are a joke. Your family is a joke. Your cousin is a joke. Your daddy, your uncle, they're a joke." If you enjoyed this video, click on the card showing on your screen right now for more videos.